Hello, my name is Elizabeth Snow. I did my capstone project on the social and economic effects of the Berlin Wall. The wall was built after the Cold War as it had a significant impact on Germany as a whole. At the end of the Cold War, Berlin was actually occupied by four different countries: the Soviet Union, Great Britain, the United States, and France. But soon it was separated into two, known as the East and West. The East was occupied by the Soviets, and the West was occupied by the other three, which were more of a democratic type state. This marked a new chapter in European history, and the wall was actually built by the German Democratic Republic. But the word democratic is kind of misleading, as the German Democratic Republic was actually the East, which was communist. The wall itself was originally cinder block and barbed wire, as you can see in this picture right here. Um, that was up until around 1961. This was kind of just a temporary thing. Then the large concrete panels were put in place, which were roughly 5 meters tall and spanned 28 miles through the city of Berlin itself, and then 78 miles around West Berlin to further separate it even more. The wall was actually two walls separated by a gate, or something that they refer to a lot as a death strip, where people would from the east would often try to escape to the west, and this is where a lot of people lost their lives, and it was young children, adults, elderly. um, the word strip is kind of misleading too, as well, because it was actually quite a long piece of land, and it was a sandy and gravelly type area. Even if you were to get away from the guards, they were able to track you down through your footprints in the sand, and a lot of people were ultimately found and killed that way as well. This picture over here is actually a picture of a piece of the death strip. Going into the social impacts, the wall was essentially effective immediately. So people from East Berlin or West Berlin were separated from their jobs and families. This included, they were further separated by escapes, just because a lot of times people escaping did not make it. So I guess permanently separated. West Berlin called upon the United States and kind of called them out, actually, just because of the fact that the United States kind of wasn't interfering with any of the things going on with the East, and the West felt as though they should. For the economic impacts, this is a picture of the East shortly after the wall had fallen, I want to say like a year or two. East Germany suffered really bad even through the reunification. West Germany continued to flourish because they had the help of the occupying countries, as stated before, the United States, Great Britain, and France. Many East Germans claimed that the city is still divided today. Those citizens that were residing there. There was a lot of statistical fact and kind of surveys that had gone out in the early 90s after the reunification and back in 2009. And there were a lot of people still stating that many of the East Berlin citizens were still very hesitant, and they kind of had a negative outlook on the West and Germany as a whole. The historical significance of the fall of the wall, the loosening of the restrictions went into effect November 9th, 1989, when the wall was announced open, or was to be opened. People rushed to the gates, and there were thousands upon thousands of people standing on both sides of the wall, waiting for just to see their family members and just see the other side that they haven't seen in years. East Germany continued to diminish while more citizens flocked to the West, which really hurt their economy and their social life as a whole. Reunification happened October 3rd, 1990, so the wall's life kind of went through 1961 through 1989, but was officially ineffective as of 1990. A little fun fact, I guess not really fun fact, but a fact that I learned. The guards that were meant to guard the death strip or the gates on November 9th watched the announcement on TV with everyone else. Someone was kind of just handed the note and was told to read it in front of these newscasters kind of on a short notice. So when these guards called their bosses, they weren't given direction as to not guard the gates or use force on the gates. So the supervisor of the day just kind of decided that they were going to completely open the gate, and they chose to not open fire as it wouldn't have helped even in the slightest bit with the massive crowd. As this picture shows, that was only a sliver of the crowd. So that was my presentation. I hope you liked it, and I hope you were able